16 at a Grueling Truth's NFL Pick'em Show, brought to you by Gridiron Mo, a new interactive football app where you get to call what you think the offense or defense should do during a live NFL game and see what all other fans have called also. Check out Gridiron Mo at www.gridironmo.com. As always, I'm your host for the weekly Pick'em Show, Mike Goodpaster. I want to welcome in our winner from last week, Matt Andruscavage, who went 13-3 and now has a huge one-game lead with 2 weeks left plus the playoffs. How you doing tonight, Matt?
I am doing very well. I'm clinging to the lead, and we'll see if we can build on it.
Well, I mean, the good thing is that the Bengals beat the hell out of the 49ers just like the Steelers did, which brings us to last place last week, which has been happening way too much for this man. Former Pro Bowl offensive lineman from the Jaguars and Steelers, Leon Searcy. How you doing tonight, Leon?
Man, I'm doing awesome. Only 6 games behind with 2 games to go.
Well, you're 6 games back. We've got 2 weeks to go, plus we got the playoffs.
There you go.
And I would like to welcome to the show our newest member to Grueling Truth, Rodney Knuppel. Did I say your last name right, Rodney?
Knuppel, but that's okay. I've heard it all.
Knuppel, damn. I almost got it. That wasn't bad for me. You can ask Matt.
I've heard it all.
That's actually,
I've definitely heard all.
You know, Rodney. At least it started with an N, so that's you at least got the first letter right. That's pretty good.
That's progress.
It starts with a K. That's why he confuses people.
It does.
See, Rodney's got one of them silent letters in his name.
No, I know, but that's what I mean. He at least got the N sound right.
All right. But, Rodney, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I work for ESPN out of Peoria, Illinois. I'm located, obviously, right in the middle of central Illinois between St. Louis and Chicago, and big Rams fan, obviously, a little disappointed they're not in the playoffs, and not a big Jeff Fisher fan. So, that's a little bit about me.
You think he's coming back next year?
Jeff Fisher is coming back next year. From all indications, yes, Fisher will be back.
Why?
The Rams will probably be 8-8 again next year, or maybe if we're lucky, they'll be 7-9.
Or maybe you'll be lucky they'll go on 16 and finally fire his ass.
We Rams fans have been wanting that for years, but we could see the team move out to LA, which would be obviously be a disappointment.
That wouldn't be good. But
I like to go to Rams Niner games, and I have to drive a lot further.
Right.
Well, let's start off with instead of worrying about what the Niners are doing next year, other than maybe picking in the top 3, we're going to go ahead. We'll start off with the biggest story of the week before we get to the games. Leon, you want to give your take on Odell Beckham Jr.?
Yeah, I actually pulled this up a couple of hours ago. I was surprised, and I don't know the gist of the story, but I guess he had some choice words, some homophobic words that he ranted or chanted to some players.
Yeah, Josh Norman said them to Beckham.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
it was Norman saying them to Beckham. Plus, they were carrying a bat around the field and everything, and supposedly threatening him before the game.
Oh well, come on. I mean, listen. I mean, we're all adults here. I mean, there's no place for that in the game, in the sport. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a little bantam before the game, but when you get into slurs and derogatory statements towards each other, I mean that goes beyond the game of football, and there's no place for it. I just read up on it maybe about a couple of hours ago. I don't know the gist of the story. I'm just getting the backlash, what the story is all about. But I mean, we're all grown men here. With this day and age of the internet and social media, I mean, there's just no place for that kind of thing in the game of football. Maybe you could have got away with it maybe 10, 20 years ago. Some of the things that were said in the locker rooms on the football field when I was playing, I mean, definitely couldn't be posted in this day and age. But he just got to be smarter.
Yeah.
It's not good for his brand. It's not good for the image of the Giants. And just make amends, apologize for the things that you said, and just go ahead and move forward for it. But I've heard worse things. The things that I heard that he said on the field or before the game or whatever, is a lot worse that I've heard in the locker room. Believe me. But in this day and age, where everybody being so socially sensitive. You just can't say those kind of things when it comes to, this day and age that we live in football. So make amends, apologize, and just go about your business, to be quite honest with you.
Well, Rodney, do you think that Beckham should be suspended for a game?
Honestly, I don't. I mean, I know it was bad what he did, and there's no room for that in football. But he's not a repeat offender. I mean, and that's my point here. Is he's not a repeat offender. Fine him for a full game if you need to. Take a game check away. But I don't suspend him if I'm the NFL, and if I'm the NFL, I look at this as, hey, we still do have a competitive team here. What's best for the game of football? And that's Odell Beckham Jr. playing next week. I don't suspend him again.
Matt, my big question on this whole thing, Matt, is if you watched the Pittsburgh Steelers center take a cheap shot that was probably worse than Beckham on the Denver Bronco player and actually break his leg, but he's not suspended, I mean, what's your opinion of the Beckham suspension?
Well, here's the problem I have with it. The league is wildly inconsistent. Number one,
exactly.
You've got Carolina on the sideline. This is multiple weeks now with this baseball bat, and I understand what they're doing. They bring it out before the game starts, and they're basically saying we're going to drop the hammer or something like that. This is a league that cries and complains if you wear different color shoes, if your socks aren't up just right, you get fined, you get this, you get that. But when it comes to a baseball bat on the field, no problem. Where's the league been for the Carolina Panthers the last 3 weeks with this baseball bat thing, since they cry and complain about everything else? Now, Odell Beckham's hit, I thought that was ridiculous. He could have potentially paralyzed Josh Norman on that. Now, again, the league is still wildly inconsistent because the only reason they suspended him is because it was talked about so much. Once the public gets wind of a certain thing, if the media plays it out just right and the public gets wind, the NFL just responds to whatever they think the public is demanding. That's like the whole Ray Rice thing with the different number of game suspensions. They're not consistent with how they enforce the rules, and they change things as they go. That said, I think both sides were wrong. I don't know that you have to suspend them, especially in light of what you talked about with the Pittsburgh Center. There are worse things. So, if they're going to suspend them, then they have to suspend other people. And so I just find the league to be very, very inconsistent with how they handle all of this.
Well, all I know is this. When I was younger, my dad always told me, if you're going to run your mouth, be ready someday for somebody to hit you in the mouth. So, if Josh Norman shuts up and just plays the game instead of running his mouth before the game and they run around with the bats, I don't think this ever happens. But that brings us to Week 16 with 2 weeks left in the NFL season. Matt was 13-3 last week. I was 12-4. Leon, of course, was in last place at 9-7. I wanted to make sure I brought that up again. Leon's 6 games back for the year. I'm 1 game back for the year. What's that, Leon?
You ain't got to keep repeating that. This is where
he can't help himself, Leon.
I know.
You know what they say? It's just like Cam Newton dancing. If you don't want him dancing,
keep him out the end
zone. Giving up touchdowns.
See, this is why he can't say anything about me, Leon, because I'm in first now. He can't do nothing. So now he's got to direct all of his attention.
I can do so. It's obvious I'm going to win. I've been in the lead for 12 weeks. Everybody knows I'm going to win. It's just the way it is. First game, Rodney,
just
the
like
new
the
guy.
Bengals.
Rodney, San Diego at Oakland.
Yeah, I like the Oakland Raiders to win this game. Oakland's last game possibly there in Oakland. I like Oakland to win this game. Derek Carr, Amari Cooper, another big game. Michael Crabtree. I like Oakland to win this game.
All right, Leon.
Yeah, I like Oakland too. Unfortunately, this is a non-playoff factor game, but I think Oakland is just a better team. The Chargers struggle offensively, defensively. Oakland is probably a year or two away before they can be a competitor. But I like what they got going on. I like Jack Del Rio as a coach. I like what they're doing offensively. I like Amari Cooper. I like David Carr. I like Khalid defensively. I like what they're doing. Khalil Mack. I love him defensively. He's going to be a stud in the years to come. I just think they got the better team. I think San Diego, for some odd reason, I mean, they've got projections early in the season to compete, but they just somehow falter when it comes down to nut cutting time. They just don't get it done. I think the Raiders are just a better team. I just think the Raiders are going to win this game, so I think the Raiders will win this game easily.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I think the Raiders win this game. The Raiders are one of these teams. We talked about it last week. They're very competitive. They don't win a lot of games, but one thing that they have done this year is they played very well in the division. And San Diego is, they got a lot of injuries. I like Oakland. I think they match up very well with San Diego right now, especially with the weapons they have on offense.
Yeah, and I think this could be another huge game for Khalil Mack. I mean, San Diego's offensive line is not very good. I mean, I think San Diego would have been a contender without the injuries. I think Phillip Rivers has had a really good season, which people kind of overlook, especially without many weapons. But I like Oakland in this game. Brings us to the next game, which is a huge game, believe it or not, the Washington Redskins at the Philadelphia Eagles. Leon.
I like the Redskins. They actually competed for something in December, which is it's taking them a long time to actually be relevant come late this December. I think they've got a clear shot to win the division, especially with the Cowboys losing, with the Giants losing, and everybody in their division is abysmal. So they'll probably win the division at 8, 9, or 7 or something like that. The Eagles, I don't know why I picked them over the Cardinals last week. The Cardinals just dismembered them in every aspect of the game. It made them look like pretty much a high school team when you saw them play against the Cardinals. But I think the Redskins they're definitely, unfortunately, they're going to be a playoff team. They're probably going to get a home game and host a home game, which is crazy. But I think the Redskins have a lot more to play for in this game than the Eagles do. So I'm going to pick the Redskins to win this game.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I also like the Redskins. The Redskins win, they clinch the NFC East. Kirk Cousins is playing very good football right now. They've got a good running game with Matt Jones and Alfred Morris. Their weapons on offense are stepping up, especially Jordan Reed. And Deshaun Jackson is still a deep threat. So they've got enough weapons. Philadelphia's defense is okay. And, boy, DeMarco Murray, 2 carries for 3 yards last week. And,
oh my God.
The wildly inconsistent Chip Kelly offense just keeps rearing its ugly head. I think the Redskins are hot enough right now in the confines of the NFC East that they can win this game on the road and wrap up the division.
Yeah, I think the Redskins win this game also. Philadelphia, I just don't like them. I think Sam Bradford is a front runner as a quarterback. When things go wrong, it just seems like they really go wrong for that team. I'm going to go with the Redskins. Rodney?
Give me the Eagles. I'll take the Eagles in this game. Washington has just one road win, and that's against the lowly Bears in Chicago.
Even the 49ers beat Chicago in Chicago, Rodney.
Yeah, I know. For some reason, this NFC East is going to come down to Week 17, and that means Philadelphia has to win this game, and I think Philadelphia wins this game at home.
All right, next game. This is a classic matchup, the Indianapolis Colts and the Miami Dolphins, Matt.
Oh, jeez. Colts-Dolphins. Actually, it's funny, these two teams were projected to be improved over last year, especially the Colts looked like they were going to take a step forward, but injuries have really killed the Colts, and they also have had definite weaknesses in defense and offensive line. Miami, just not very good. This is not a very good game at all. I don't think Andrew Luck is going to be back, though they may try. I don't know. I've heard rumblings, but in this game, I think it's really a toss-up. I'll go Indianapolis by a field goal, but either result would not surprise me.
All right. I think this game's a coin toss also. I mean, they've both looked terrible the last few weeks. What the hell? I'm going to go with Miami. I don't know why. I think Tannehill is better than whoever the Colts put out there at quarterback, because let's face it, whoever starts will probably be injured in the first quarter with their offensive line. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I don't feel real good about it, but I'm going to go with Miami. Rodney?
I'll go Colts. I'm going opposite of you guys. I'm going to go Colts here. I think both teams are absolute train wreck right now. But I'm going to go Indianapolis, and kind of for the same reason I think Philadelphia is. I think that AFC South is going to come down to the final week, and Indianapolis has to win. And I think Indianapolis is going to find a way to win that game.
All right, Leon?
Yeah, I'll go with the Dolphins. I mean, this is definitely a surrender game, to be quite honest with you. Both of these teams have kind of packed it in. I think the Colts have already they've submitted the division. I think the Texans are ultimately going to win this division. The Colts have been decimated with injuries and not really good offensively. Like you said, Mike, the offensive line is horrific. The defense, they can't stop the run. They can't cover the pass. The Dolphins have been vastly inconsistent the whole year. Tannehill has not developed the way I thought he would. I thought he'd be a lot more consistent than he has as a passer. But I just think the Dolphins might just have a little bit more at home to ultimately come away with the victory. And the only reason why I'm picking the Dolphins is because they're at home. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins in the victory.
All right, my game's a classic also. Chicago at Tampa Bay. A lot of great games so far this week.
Wow.
I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. They're at home. They usually, I mean, they're up and down. They're all over the place. But I think they've got a lot more weapons on offense than Chicago does. Plus, Chicago's defense is not very good. It's a team that lost to the 49ers. If you lose to the 49ers, you probably don't belong in the NFL. What do you think, Rodney?
Amen.
I'll go with Tampa Bay in this one. I think the Bears. We saw a little bit from the Bears that they kind of quit on John Fox. No, I'm not saying it's John Fox's fault here, but Chicago's a train. They're not very good right now. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay at home.
All right, Leon.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is clearly the better team, especially at home. Jameis Winston tends to play a lot better at home than he does on the road. I think they just got too many weapons offensively for Chicago. Chicago's been a train wreck all year. Just when you want to start to believe that they can make a run and make things happen, I mean, they disappoint you in the end. I think Tampa Bay is maybe a year or two away to becoming a playoff contender. But at home, I like Jameis Winston. I like the weapons that he has. I'm just not buying into Jay Cutler and him offensively with that offensive line and their defense. So I'm going to go with Tampa Bay to win this game at home. All
right, Matt.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you guys on this. Tampa Bay they seem to win every other week. It's at least the way it appears to me. And they lost at St. Louis, I believe, last week. I think they're probably going to be due for a win this week at home. And like you guys said, the Bears are just not a very good team at all. Tampa Bay is more talented right now. They've got a little bit more on the roster. So I'm going with Tampa at home.
All right, Rodney. Cleveland at Kansas City.
Oh, that's got to be Kansas City. Kansas City is is the hottest team in football right now, winners of 8 in a row, and they're figuring a lot of things out, and their quarterback situation is obviously improving. As we know, they're a game behind Denver in that AFC West. I think Kansas City rolls in this one. I think Kansas City rolls the next two, and we're going to see the Chiefs in the playoffs this year.
All right, Leon.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kansas City. They're a hot team right now. They're on the roll. I like what they're doing defensively. They get after the quarterback. They cover the pass. I mean, and no better team to play. This is essentially their bye week, playing the Cleveland Browns and Johnny Manziel. This is a situation where they're going to prep for the playoffs. I don't think the game's going to be even close. I think Kansas City is a team that, along with the Jets and maybe even the Steelers, that you don't want to face come playoff time, or if you're the 1, 2, or 3 seed. I think Kansas City, I still don't like them offensively. I don't think they put up enough points offensively to really be a factor when it comes playoff time. But I think defensively, they can definitely put pressure on the quarterback, and they cause turnovers. But in this game and age, when you got the Cincinnati Bengals and you got the Broncos and you got the Patriots, you got to put points on the board. So I don't know how effective they're going to be when it comes playoff time. But defensively, they're pretty rock solid. So I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game easily.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, Kansas City should definitely roll. They'll be up to 9 in a row. I like Kansas City's defense. I know they got one of the top 2 interception leaders in the secondary. Their pass rush is very good. Offensively, what I like about them, as opposed to the way maybe they started out this year and how they've been in years past, is Alex Smith is able to find receivers open, and they're able to score. It's not just Travis Kelce. It's not just a dump off to a running back.
They're getting good production from the running backs, and they're getting the receivers involved. So right now, Kansas City is just playing really good ball. I don't know how far they could go in the playoffs, like Leon was saying, but they are one of the three dangerous teams, one of the three wildcard teams. All three wildcard teams are teams that you're not going to want to play in the playoffs.
Well, Kansas City could possibly win the division still, too.
I know. I agree. They definitely
Exactly.
I'm definitely going with Kansas City because they're playing Cleveland. And unless San Francisco is on the other side of the ball, Cleveland always wins. I hate to say that, Matt, but I figure I'd give you a hard time tonight since you were obviously
go ahead. Enjoy yourself. I don't blame you.
Leon, this is actually, I think, a tough one to pick. New England at the Jets.
Oh, man. In New York.
Very good game.
But this is going to be a very good game. This has got to be a statement game for the Jets. I mean, New England dominated over the last decade. I mean, they've won the AFC East. They've run through the AFC East over the last decade or so. I think they've got the components on defense to cause Tom Brady problems because they play a sound defense. They play a sound coverage. I'm pretty sure they're going to disguise coverage. They're going to try to manipulate the coverage to kind of confuse Tom Brady, but I don't know how effective they're going to be. They've got to put pressure on Tom. They've got to not make him comfortable in the pocket. I know going into this week, their game plan is to make sure they keep Tom Brady rattled. I think they have the weapons defensively to rattle Tom Brady and make him ineffective. And offensively, I don't know. I ain't said his name right in the last 4 weeks, so I'm calling him Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk, if he can just...
His name's Ryan Fitzpatrick. Come on, man.
Well, listen, I'm going to call him Captain Kirk. If he can just not turn the ball over, if they can run the ball, they got a rock-solid offensive line. They can control the line of scrimmage. They can control the time of possession. I think the Jets get it done, but only by a field goal. I'm giving this game Jets 23, Patriots 20. I mean, if there's ever a time where they can make a statement like we're here, New England, we're not going anywhere, it's got to be this game. So I'm going to take the Jets at home at New England, 23-20. So I'm going with the Jets to win this game.
All right, Matt.
Very good game. The Jets could win this game. I just think that New England is going to get it done when it matters. They've seen this so many times before. It seems like every time there's an AFC East opponent that looks like they're going to, make a statement at the end or derail New England, especially in December, it just never seems to materialize. And I think we're going to see that again. The weapons are going to start to get healthy. Brady's just able to find pretty much anybody that's out there. There's so many interchangeable parts. They get production from almost anybody. Don't be surprised if Steven Jackson, newly signed New England Patriot, is actually effective. With the moment he steps out there. I realize the Jets have a really good pass rush. They've got a good secondary. There is a possibility if they do everything right that they could win this game. I just think they're going to have to make a whole lot more plays than the Patriots have to do to win this game. I'll go Patriots in a close game.
Okay. I like what Leon says. I mean, I think defensively they're the kind of team that gives Brady trouble because they can get pressure with their defensive front without having to blitz. Very good in coverage. Still missing a few players on the Patriots' offensive line. I'm going to go with the Jets in the upset. I agree with Leon. I'll probably regret it because the other time I picked against the Patriots this year, I regretted it. So what's your opinion, Rodney?
Look, I love what Todd Bowles has done with the Jets, and the Ryan Fitzmagic story is quite humorous, really, but it's coming to an end. Patriots are that team that, like you said earlier, when there's somebody thinks that they're going to come up and compete with them, it just doesn't happen. And Patriots got their 2 losses this year. They're not losing another one. Patriots win this one 31-7.
All righty, Matt. Dallas at Buffalo.
Yeesh. Yeah, this was a great game 20 years ago, but oh boy.
Yeah, Super Bowl 28. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great game. I think he was talking about the regular season game. What was that, 93, where Emmett was holding out and Buffalo beat him?
Yeah, when Emmett held out. Yeah, that was actually a pretty good
exactly.
game.
Yeah,
Buffalo won. But now Dallas is really in a tailspin right now. I don't really see them. I don't know that they could beat. Now they could beat my team and maybe Cleveland, but maybe Tennessee. But there's just not a whole lot. Not a whole lot else they could beat. Buffalo's got enough weapons on the offense at home. Buffalo should win this game, but it's Buffalo's kind of out of it, so it's not going to. I wouldn't say this is a game to watch, but Buffalo will win the game.
Yeah, I think the Bills win this game without a problem. What do you think, Rodney?
Buffalo wins this game. Dallas is in as close to tank mode as possible at this point. I mean, 4 wins. They still could get that number 1 pick. I don't think they will, but I think Buffalo wins this game. I just don't see Rex Ryan's team, although I'm not a big fan of Rex Ryan. I don't see Rex Ryan's team losing this game at home to just a bad Cowboys team. Buffalo wins this game.
All right, Leon?
Yeah, Buffalo wins this game easily. I mean, right now, Jerry Jones is already he's already laying money aside to get Derrick Henry out of Alabama. I mean, the way they played the season, they're already projecting to get the kid from Alabama, Derrick Henry, Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, that might be the missing piece of their puzzle, but if they can keep Tony Romo healthy with their offensive line. I don't see any other agenda for the Cowboys to win the rest of the games outside of, draft picks right now. Buffalo, they've been an up-and-down team. I really thought this team was going to be a playoff contender with Rex Ryan. I thought the defense was going to be rock solid. They've let the team down on many occasions, but they're playing the Cowboys. The Cowboys don't have any kind of weapons offensively. I mean, Matt Castle. That's enough said right there. I just don't see a Matt Castle team going into Buffalo and beating them. So I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills to win this game easily.
All right, the next game, San Francisco at Detroit. There's a lot of bad games this year, man.
Oh my God, that's like a throw-up.
Yeah, in 1956, this would have been a good matchup. I'm going to go with Detroit because they got Bobby Lane. Rodney, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Detroit, and that's about all I got. Is I'm going with Detroit.
Yeah, I think Bobby Lane's just a little bit better than Y.A. Tittle because he actually wins championships. What do you think, Leon?
Oh my! You didn't go Dick Night Train, did you? You 1956.
And Dick LeBeau. Detroit's definitely better.
Yeah, Detroit's definitely better. They're a better team. The 49ers are in disarray. They probably won't even. Their head coach, he may not be there next year after the performance that they had. I don't know why they got rid of Jim Harbaugh. Management, whatever it was, but you don't get rid of a coach like that. A team that went to back-to-back Super Bowls or championship games or whatever. But Detroit just got more talent than the 49ers. I mean, you got what's his name, Blaine Gabbert at quarterback. I mean, come on now. Detroit wins this game easily, so I'm gonna go with the Lions.
Blaine Gabbert's defense, even the game against the Bengals, I don't think was Blaine Gabbert's fault because as soon as the ball was snapped, Geno Atkins was in his lap, and Carlos Dunlap. Their offensive line is terrible. They've had a ton of injuries. Matt, San Francisco.
Oh yeah, even if there wasn't
a real Niner fan in this situation, will pick the 49ers.
Oh, whatever. It's in this situation, it's a whole lot more fun to say that I'm winning the whole thing. So I'm going to go with the Lions. The Niners won't win another game this year. Even if they had a lot of their guys healthy right now, I don't think they could win in Detroit. But with all the guys they got hurt, they've got 2 running backs that are healthy. And one of them they just picked up today, DeJuan Harris, former Packer and Seahawk, hasn't played in like a year and a half. So they just don't have anything right now. Health-wise, even if they did, I'm not sure it'd be enough. They're not going to win. It's going to be they're going to have a 4-12 season.
All right, Rodney, the undefeated Carolina Panthers at 14-0 at the Atlanta Falcons.
Wow, I'm glad I got this one first because Atlanta's going to win this game. Atlanta's going to find a way to win this game. A lot of talk here. I don't know if you guys heard, but the Roddy White coming out and talking a little bit about Carolina and. Carolina really can't go 16-0, can they? Atlanta wins this game, and Atlanta somehow stays alive for that final wild card spot. I don't know how, but Atlanta wins this game.
All right, Leon?
Well, yeah, I'm done picking against Cam Newton. I thought the Giants had an outstanding chance, to end their perfect season. I just can't pick against Cam Newton. I mean, the kid, he does it. He gets it done. And that defense has got to be one of the best defenses in the NFL. They just get it done, although they did give up 35 points to the Giants. I just knew the Giants was going to win that game. I actually picked them to beat Carolina. They had every opportunity to win it, but the Panthers just find a way. I think they're going to go undefeated, but unfortunately, I think they're going to get bounced. They're going to get bounced in the second round and not make it to the Super Bowl. I just think they're going to either come up against the Cardinals or the Seahawks, and they're going to end their run. But I think they're going to go undefeated. I think they're going 16-0. But I think they get in the second round of playoffs. I think they're going to lose. But they're going up against Atlanta. Atlanta they're one of the biggest pretenders in the NFL. 5-0, and then they lose two out of the last 9 games, or 1 out of 9, whatever it is. They're just vastly inconsistent. But in their defense,
Leon, they didn't beat anybody that even has a winning record right now in those first 5 games.
That's true, but you can only play the games that they schedule. You can't. You can only play the games that they schedule with. The Panthers haven't played anybody of real caliber. To be quite honest with you, they may have played in their run maybe 2 teams or 3 teams with winning records, but they just find a way to win. I think they're the hot team now. I think that they're the sexy team right now. I think they're going to get bounced in the playoffs. I think it's a good run. I like Cam Newton. I like his energy. I like his swag. I like his confidence. I just don't see them getting beat during the regular season. So I'm going to go pick the Carolina Panthers to win this game.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, Carolina is going to absolutely roll. Atlanta they're just awful. I don't care if they're home or away. They've got some weapons on offense, but I'll tell you, the biggest problem that I see going into this game is Roddy White running his mouth early. Maybe they could have snuck up on him. Maybe they could have done something. Then after the game, you come out and say, Josh Norman ain't all that tough. But to give a 14-0 team bulletin board material, I just think that was a terrible mistake. And Carolina is better all the way around on them. Cam Newton is finding all kinds of guys open. They're getting running production out of 2 or 3 different guys, and they have tons of confidence, and they have the defense that can shut down just about anybody. So I think Carolina wins this really easily.
Okay. I'm going to go with Rodney on this. I think a lot of stuff is going on this week, and I think when you have distractions, it can cause problems. I think when you have a team 14-0, it can cause problems. I think also that sometimes somebody saying something like Roddy White does, they were embarrassed 38-0 in Carolina. Matt Ryan is a solid quarterback. I don't think he's one of the top 10 in the NFL, but I think he's a solid quarterback. I think Julio Jones is a monster. And I think Julio Jones is going to go off in this game. I think Atlanta's going to play inspired. Carolina, let's face it, they got 2 games left. They play these guys. They play Tampa Bay at home. They win 1. They're the home field advantage. So I have the same feeling Rodney does. I think this run stuff's here. I think Atlanta wins the game. Even though Matt says it's going to be 57-0. All right.
Well, you'll be wrong.
Next game would be here is a classic. See how he talks crap all the time? It's a pick'em show, and he takes it so seriously.
See, Leon, he does not like it when he gets it back.
Get what back?
He does not like it. He can't take it. He can only dish it out.
Leon, see, and he keeps running his mouth, so I can't say it. Get in a word edgewise. Now, Leon, all year we pick it. Have I ever said to you or Matt, well, you're going to be wrong there. That's a stupid pick.
Are you serious, Mike? Do you want me to go back through and pull them up and play them?
Leon?
Pull up the tape.
Leon.
Pull up. I don't think I've heard
Leon,
it.
have I ever said to you that's a stupid pick, Leon?
I've never heard that. I got to admit, I've never heard that.
I didn't say a stupid pick. I just said you'll be wrong.
Have I ever said you'll be wrong after somebody picks? See, I'm respectful.
Absolutely, yes.
I respect
Absolutely, you've said that.
Okay, Leon, have I ever told Matt you're going to lose that one?
I mean, right, well, listen.
Come on, Leon.
Matt, you're
Okay,
a 49er
Rodney, on
fan.
all the shows you've been on, have you ever heard me say to Matt, you're going to lose that pick?
I've never heard you say. I've never heard you say that before.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. All right, that settles it for anybody listening. All right, Leon, now since you were truthful there to say that I didn't, I'm going to give you the game of the week, Houston at Tennessee.
Oh, the game of the week, Houston at Tennessee. Oh, my
Oh, yeah.
God.
Houston can clinch the division with a win here.
Yeah, and what better team to play than the Tennessee Titans? I mean, Tennessee plays well at home. I don't even know what's the status of Mariota. Is he playing in the game? It probably doesn't.
He's out. He's out the rest of the year. He tore his MCL, I believe, wasn't it?
Okay, well, he's out. So that makes it more apparent that the Houston Texans, they'll probably win the division at 7-9, 8-8, or whatever. I mean, the AFC, what is it, South, is like sucks.
Yeah.
To be quite honest with you. And I was
bad.
actually at the Jaguars game when they played Atlanta, and Jacksonville did everything possible to lose that freaking game. So I'm going to go with the Texans. I think the Texans are clearly playing for a lot more. I think the Tennessee Titans are packed in. They got the U-Hauls ready. I think that they're preparing for the off season. Guys are going to Bermuda, Jamaica, Bahamas. I don't think they have anything to play for.
That's that Kokomo song by the Beach Boys, isn't it?
Exactly. So I think the Texans win this game. It's going to be close, but I think the Texans pull it out in the end. So I'm going with the Texans. They have a lot more to play for than the Titans. So I get the Texans to win this game by at least 10.
All right, let's hear from the genius bully, Matt Andruscavage. Houston or Tennessee?
Houston by 10, just like Leon said. You know, everything. They got a little bit more to play for. Tennessee's got a few weapons, but I don't think they had enough to win the game. Houston's defense will overwhelm them.
I'll tell you, this game would have been a toss-up, I think, if Mariota would have played, just because of the way he's played this year at home.
Yeah, exactly.
And I agree with that. Houston's very good.
Yeah.
That's definitely true.
I'm taking Houston also. Rodney?
Yeah, I'll take Houston. I really wish I could pick Tennessee here, but I just don't see. I mean, Zach Mettenberger, really? I mean, he couldn't even. Houston wins.
Yeah, he's best suited to play against Arkansas, I think.
I think so too. And he couldn't even get Odell Beckham Jr. the ball in college, so I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, so that's
there you go. There you go. You're exactly right.
And Jarvis Landry.
All right, before we get to the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens, check out a word from SteelbergBox.com, one of our sponsors.
I'd like to tell you about our new website, www.steelbergbox.com, a monthly fan box service built to take a fan's passion for the Pittsburgh Steelers to a whole new level. Offering 3 different fan boxes to choose from and several different plans, fans are guaranteed to get way more value in their box than they paid. It's simple. Drop by www.steelbergbox.com. Choose the category and size: men, women, youths, and infants. Then, pick one of our 3 Steelers merchandise fan boxes. After you choose your fan box, hit subscribe. Then choose your monthly plan. You're done. Go Steelers.
We're back with Week 16 of the NFL's Grueling Truth Weekly Pick'em Show. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster, here with Matt Andruscavage, Leon Searcy, and Rodney
Knuppel.
There we go. I will get that right after about 3 months. You can ask Matt about how long it takes.
That's all right.
I got Andruscavage right after about 5 years after I met. So. All right. So is it Leon with Pittsburgh? Yeah, Leon, Pittsburgh at Baltimore.
Oh, this is an easy game. Maybe 10 years ago. This might be a more competitive game even 10 years ago. I was actually on the phone with Ray Lewis about a week ago. We talked about this game, and I haven't heard. He didn't call me back ever since then. Once we got to the game, because he already knows the Steelers going to win this game.
Why haven't we had Ray Lewis on the show yet, then, Leon?
I talked to Ray about a month ago. He was actually in Miami promoting his book and his new cigar line. And I said, hey, Ray, the Steelers played the Ravens in a couple of weeks, so why don't you give me a call and, come on my Pick'em show. He's like, oh, sir, whatever. Yeah, let me know. And I've yet to hear from him.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I know, but, he knows that the Ravens are in disarray. They're not the team that they once were.
I just think you made like 60% of that up, Leon.
I did. I swear to God, I talked to him.
Sounds to me like he told you were wrong, Leon.
Hey, I talked to him. I talked to him about the Ravens-Steelers game in a couple of weeks, that he was going to be at the game. I said, Ray, you're not going to be on the field, so it really doesn't matter. The Steelers are going to win this game easily. The Steelers are playing for a lot more. The Ravens aren't a good team. The Steelers are on a roll. Offensively, they probably one of the best offensive teams that we've seen in the last 50 years. I don't care what you say, Mike, but you got a glimpse of that, a couple of weeks ago when we played the Bengals?
You scored 26 points. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome.
7 of it was defense. You scored 26 points.
That's what we won. Did we win? What was the end result? Okay,
it was 33-20, but you had a pick 6 on defense. It doesn't matter. We beat you. If I remember right, we played you in Pittsburgh and held you to 10 points.
Well, listen, Ben Roethlisberger was sick. He had the flu.
All right, now this is the thing that really gets us. Ben Roethlisberger was sick, but nothing happened when the Steelers beat the Bengals, right?
I'm just saying. He was sick. He was triple. He was on IR.
It was 16-10, and you're missing your quarterback played the whole game.
Listen, he was on cold medicine. He was delirious. The medication made him blurred. So y'all luckily won that game. Well, all I'm saying is that the Steelers are the better team. This won't even be close. I'm picking the Steelers to win 30-14. Steelers.
All right, Matt.
Oh yeah, Steelers should roll in this game. And Leon, I'm in the Super Bowl in my fantasy league. I've got 3 Steelers on offense, so I'm pulling for you. So hopefully Antonio Brown has another big game and Heath Miller. So, but no, the Ravens just don't have enough anywhere. The Steelers need this game to stay alive in the wild card race. So, Steelers should absolutely roll.
Yeah, I'm going to take Pittsburgh. I actually think Baltimore might put up a fight for like 5 or 6 minutes, but other than that, I think it's a blowout. Rodney, what do you think?
The Ravens are terrible right now. I mean, Jimmy Clausen, Matt Schaub, who's even going to start at quarterback for Baltimore now? And
that's bad.
No, I don't think this is going to be a pretty one. You said it might be competitive for 5 or 6 minutes. I'll take the under. I'm going to take the Steelers on this one.
Well, I was thinking maybe Baltimore get the opening kickoff and get a first down.
Okay, I'll give you that, but that's
on a penalty.
Penalty.
Yeah, take a penalty. It's not like that. Well, Pittsburgh's DBs are pretty bad. Maybe they just drop back every play, chuck it as deep as they can, and maybe get a couple touchdowns that way. Matt, Jacksonville at New Orleans.
Jacksonville at New Orleans. Well, I got an interesting report today that said Drew Brees has a torn, the exact area where Peyton Manning was injured. I can't remember. I don't remember how you pronounce that, but
the plantar fasciitis.
I don't remember, but I just remember it's on the back of his foot. It's torn. I don't know if that is confirmed, but if he's out, even though New Orleans has played well at home, I think Jacksonville have a definite chance to win that game. New Orleans isn't really playing for anything. I don't know how far Jacksonville is out. They may even actually be out of the playoff race. I forget where they are in the standings.
I think they still have a chance if they win out and the Texans lose out.
Okay. Well, they're probably out, but Jacksonville is an up-and-coming team. They've got a lot of improvements that they've made this year on offense. I think New Orleans' defense is still really bad. And so Jacksonville should win this game. Now, if Drew Brees is playing, probably a little bit closer, but I'm going to go with Drew Brees not playing, and I'll take Jacksonville in a close game.
Okay. I'm going to do the same thing. If Brees played, I may change my mind, but I think Blake Bortles is an up-and-coming quarterback. I think this could be a good team in another year or two. They got two very good wide receivers. You got Julius Thomas at tight end. I think they're a little bit like Oakland, where they're just not quite ready to get over that hump yet, still a little bit young. Rodney, what's your opinion?
Yeah, Drew Brees has a torn plantar fascia, but he plans
he's done
to play. Well, he hopes to play, which is interesting. Our boy Ed Warder had that say earlier. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to happen.
I've had a slightly pulled one before, just out of place, and it's hard to even walk on it.
Well, we saw him Monday night, and he didn't look very good. This game is a fantasy player's dream with Jacksonville's offense and New Orleans' terrible defense. I'm going to pick the Jaguars to win in this one in a high-scoring game.
All right, Leon?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jacksonville. I was a little disappointed in the Jaguars' performance against Atlanta. I thought they had every opportunity to win the game. I was actually at the game. They had the legends. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but, they had the top 20 Jaguars of all time. They just happened to be there. I don't want to say too much about that, but I was there, and it was unfortunate that they lost the game. This kind of spoiled the party. They just can't close the deal. That's the biggest problem I've seen with the Jaguars over the last couple of games is they just can't close the deal. I think they're, like you said, Matt, they might be a year or two away to be competitive, to be an actual playoff team, but I think they got the components to compete. But the Saints are just bad, and they're going to even be worse if Drew Brees can't play in the game. I don't know what the Jaguars can essentially play for, because I think ultimately the Houston Texans are going to have enough to actually win the division. I think if they had to beat Atlanta, they could have definitely been a front runner to win the division, as bad as the AFC South is. I think they might have dug their own grave losing to Atlanta when they had an opportunity to win. But against the Saints and offensively not having Drew Brees and that defense, giving up so many points, I think the Jaguars essentially will win this game, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than everybody anticipates. But I'm going to go with the Jaguars to win.
All right, that brings me to the next game, the Rams at Seattle. Let's just say Seattle. The Rams' offense, terrible. Offensive line's terrible. Defense is decent, but they end up looking bad because the offense gets the ball back after 3 and down or turns the ball over constantly. Rodney?
Yeah, I mean, Seattle's going to win this game, but if Jeff Fisher can do one thing, it's coach against a divisional team. So I'll take Seattle to win. If this is a betting show, I'm taking the Rams to cover 2 touchdowns. I do think this will be a close game. Seattle doesn't lose this game at home, though.
All right, Leon.
Yeah, I think Seattle is clear-cut. They're definitely the better team. I think Russell Wilson is playing lights out right now. I mean, if you wanted to start the MVP voting at the midpoint of the season, I mean, he would definitely be a front runner the way he's as consistent as he's been for the second part of the season. The defense is getting healthy. The offense is playing real well. Russell Wilson he's making the throws. The Rams just aren't they aren't good at all. They're just bad, especially offensively and defensively. I just don't think they're going to be able to hang with the Seahawks, especially at home. And the Seahawks have a lot more to play for. They're making that playoff run, and they're definitely one of those teams that you don't want to see come January, playoff time, because they're getting healthy. They're vastly consistent on both sides of the ball. So I think Seattle was definitely making a playoff, not even a playoff push, but a Super Bowl push. So I think Seattle is locked in, loaded, and I think the Seahawks are going to win this game easily.
All right, Matt?
Yeah, Seattle should definitely win this at home. Even without Thomas Rawls and Marshawn Lynch, their third-string running back, even if the Rams shut him down, Russell Wilson over the last 4 games has just been amazing. In fact, I think he's the first player in NFL history to have 4 or 5 straight games with 3 touchdowns and no picks. Just playing really well. Doug Baldwin's on fire. I mean, how many touchdowns does he have? Like 10 in the last 3 games? It's really crazy. They're just playing really good football right now. The Rams just will not have enough to to keep up, even if they play inspired ball early in the game.
All right, here's an interesting game for Rodney. Green Bay at Arizona.
Wow, this is a great game. Arizona's playing at a high level right now. I mean, seeing them play the other night, they have all the pieces, and obviously they took a little bit of a blow defensively with Matthew going out. Arizona's won 8 in a row. Green Bay's won 3 in a row. Green Bay would need a win to kind of clinch the NFC North. This is a tough one, but I'm going to take Arizona. Carson Palmer's another one of those guys. You mentioned Russell Wilson being an MVP-type candidate. Carson Palmer's another guy. Now, Cam Newton's going to get the job done. If he just does average these last 2 games, he's going to get the job done. But Carson Palmer's a guy I think's a top 3 MVP candidate, and I think Arizona wins their 13th game over Green Bay in this one.
All right, Leon?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that. I mean, this is one of those games is that who's your daddy game. Arizona is I'm very impressed with Arizona. Carson Palmer, he's been able to stay healthy. That makeshift offensive line has been very productive, both protecting him and running the ball. I just don't believe in the Packers for some reason. The offensive line is average at best. The running game is average at best. The defense at times is average at best. I just don't think that you can be average at best going up against a team that's definitely making a run, making a Super Bowl run. I think the Arizona Cardinals, along with the Panthers and the Seattle Seahawks, are the front runners in the NFC to represent in the Super Bowl. I think Arizona is locked and loaded. I think that they're getting healthy. They do enough things on both sides of the ball to be they're vastly consistent on both sides of the ball, and I just don't see the Packers being able to compete with them. I think Arizona just has too many weapons offensively. I think they're rock solid when it comes defensively. I just don't think the Packers have enough to compete with them, especially at home in Arizona. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals to win this 30-20. I'm going to go with the Cardinals to win.
All right, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. The Cardinals are definitely one of the top teams in the NFC to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. The Packers, historically under Mike McCarthy, the moment you get them in a non-divisional game against a good team, especially on the road, I mean, they almost never win a game like this. It just doesn't happen. And right now, there's something wrong with the Packers' offense. They do not have a deep threat. They have to really come up with creative ways to get Randall Cobb open in space. Their running game is very, very hit and miss. James Starks is a good back. Eddie Lacy's on every once in a while, but against a team like the Cardinals, they're not going to get all the breaks that they get against these other teams. They're real good against lousy teams. The moment you put them up against a really good team, they're just not going to win this game. Now, obviously, if Tyrann Mathieu's out there, I think it's even worse. But Arizona's defense can deal with this, at least for now. I don't know how it'll be in the playoffs, but Arizona's going to win this game.
Yeah, I think Arizona wins this game by 2 touchdowns. I just think they're a more physical team than Green Bay. The loss of Jordy Nelson is a lot bigger than what people thought it would be at the start of the year, I believe. Randall Cobb hadn't had the kind of year that he's normally had. So I'm going to go with Arizona, and I think Arizona wins this game relatively easy. Next game, Leon, Giants at the Minnesota Vikings.
This is a toss-up game. I knew the Giants going into the game against Carolina was going to play. I mean, just being under the tutelage of Tom Coughlin, I knew that he was going to have those guys ready to play against the Carolina Panthers. I mean, early on in the game, it seemed like it was going to be a blowout, but somehow the Giants found a way to get back in the game and make it a close one. This is a tough one because the Vikings they've come along. Adrian Peterson has had a decent year. He's been very productive. Teddy Bridgewater, at times, I felt like they had the handcuffs on him and wouldn't allow him to be as effective as he could as a passer. But this is a coin toss for me. I'm going to go with the Vikings at home, just because they've got an outside shot to make it competitive and make a playoff push. I think the Giants have, for the most part, surrendered. the NFC East. I think the Redskins are the front runners to win it. Also, the Giants have an outside chance, but I think the Redskins will ultimately win the division. And I'm not going to say they packed it in, but, losing those close games to the Patriots and losing those close games to the Panthers, it might have taken a little bit out of the Giants. If they had won those games, it could have definitely turned their season around. I think the Minnesota Vikings outside, they feel they got a chance to make a playoff push. So at home, I'm going to pick the Minnesota Vikings to win a close one. So I'm going to go with the Vikings to win this game.
All right, Matt?
Yeah, I think the Vikings are the better team. Overall, they've got a better offense. I think the Giants' defense is decent. But, Jason Pierre-Paul is just not nearly as effective as he used to be. I just don't think the Giants have enough on defense to handle the weapons that the Vikings have. Bridgewater's playing good football. Adrian Peterson is a real problem for just about any team. And then I think they got enough at receiver, and they get pretty much everybody involved. They're going to be at home. Minnesota knows if they want any chance at this division, they got to win. They have a real opportunity to close the gap and make that Week 17 showdown in Lambeau really count for them. So I look for Minnesota to play good ball. They're well coached, as you know, Mike. Mike Zimmer's a good coach. I think he'll have this defense up. And with Odell Beckham isn't out there, that just makes it even worse. But I think even if Odell Beckham is out there, I think Minnesota wins this game.
Yeah, no Beckham, I don't think they got a prayer. I mean, that's 70% of their offense, and maybe 100% of their offense. But I'm going with the Vikings. I don't see how the Giants can do anything here. I do respect Coughlin as a coach. I think Eli Manning's a very good quarterback, so you never know any given Sunday, all that stuff. But I'm going to go with the Vikings, the home team. I think, as with Arizona, Green Bay, I just think Minnesota's a more physical team. Rodney?
Well, because I'm not in the running for your guys' season long, I'll go with the Giants.
You're like 130 games out.
Yeah, 130 games out. I'm going to say Odell Beckham Jr. gets reinstated this week, and the Giants find a way to win this game. Both teams have flaws. Both teams have big-time flaws. The Giants can't run, and I don't believe that the Vikings can pass effectively against decent teams. And I think the Giants are decent. And I'll take the Giants over the Vikings in this game and hope for the best and maybe come on next week and brag a little bit with you guys.
All right. Real quick, we're going to go to the game of the week after these words from Gridiron Mo. So we'll come back with the Gridiron Mo game of the week.
This is former All-Pro Leon Searcy. I've got a new interactive app called Gridiron Mo, where you get to call the plays, offense or defense, and a live NFL game. You get to interact with other fans, pick the play, pick the call. That's Gridiron Mo.
All right, we're back on the Week 16 Grueling Truth NFL Pick'em Show with Leon Searcy, Rodney, because I don't want to screw his last name up. I'm not even going to say it right now. Matt. Can't say Matt's last name, but didn't say Rodney's. And me, Mike. See, I didn't say anybody's last names just to make up for it. So we'll work on that tomorrow. We'll have like a half-hour conversation where you just say your last name to me, Rodney, and I'll repeat it back to you.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
But, all right, game of the week, Cincinnati Bengals at the Denver Broncos for at least the number 2 seed in the AFC, Matt Andruscavage.
Very, very tough game. Backup quarterbacks, injuries on both sides of the ball. Very, very difficult game. I don't think it's going to be a very pretty game. I think you're talking probably the two, if not the two best defenses, two of the best defenses in football going up against each other. Quarterback, the offense is going to be a premium in this game. I'm going to take Denver. They're the home team. I think they've got a very good defense that can really disrupt A.J. McCarron. I think they can really stop the run game. And I would be surprised if they get a defensive touchdown and win something like 17-13, 14-10, something like that. Both teams are very good. It's hard to say how this will be going forward, but it's kind of this is not what we were thinking was going to happen at this time a few weeks ago. But I'll take Broncos in a close game.
Yeah, I think a few weeks ago you're thinking the game's 37-34. Well, maybe not even a few weeks ago, because Denver, I think if Dalton plays this game, I think the Bengals would have beat them by 2 touchdowns. I think you're looking at the 2 best defenses statistically. Points given up, they're 1 and 2. I think Cincinnati's 1 now, Denver's 2. They go back and forth each week. I think the defensive line for the Bengals will be huge. Again, the Bengals' defensive line against the Broncos' offensive line is a mismatch. But I also think the Broncos' defensive line against the Bengals' offensive line is a mismatch. Not sold on McCarron. Definitely not sold on Osweiler, especially after seeing the second half last week against Pittsburgh. I think it's going to come down to a defensive touchdown and be like a 14-13 game also. If the Bengals' defense is completely healthy, which it looks like it'll be, Tyler Eifert's back. Neither team runs the ball very well, but with Gio Bernard and Jeremy Hill, I think there's a better chance that the Bengals might be able to run the ball. So I think this game is a complete coin toss going with the backup quarterbacks. I'm going to go with the Bengals. Rodney?
I was actually glad that Matt went first on this one because I had a feeling that if I went first and picked against the Bengals, I'd never get asked back on. So I'm going to take the home team, and I'm going to go with Denver.
We got a reason. This is the Gridiron. This is like the Gridiron No game of the week, and we got to stretch this out for like 5 minutes. Rodney, come on.
Well, I really think home field's going to play a big difference in this game. I mean, when two teams are this close, I just got to side with the home team. I mean, and then running games. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Giovanni Bernard, Jeremy Hill, probably better than C.J. Anderson, Ronnie Hillman, but I don't know how much better they are. They both have kind of the two-headed monster there. I'm just siding with the home team and going with Denver Broncos.
Okay, Leon?
To be quite honest with you, I'm kind of disappointed in this game, to be quite honest with you, because if Andy Dalton and Peyton Manning were both healthy and both teams were healthy coming into this game, going into Week 15, I will pick the Bengals to win this game. It's unfortunately both teams have got backup quarterbacks. They've got issues on both sides of the ball as far as health-wise goes. And it's unfortunately that, both teams are not, they're not stocked, making this playoff run. Only reason why I'm going to pick the Broncos because they're at home, to be quite honest with you. I like the Bengals. I like the weapons that I'm not sure if McCarron is going to be able to get to the receiving core that the Bengals have because they have an elite receiving core, I think. Offensive line is they're average at best. I think the Denver Broncos defense might be a little bit better. No, I give it a tie. When it comes defensively and getting up the quarterback, I give it a tie. I just think that Denver Broncos quarterback is going to be a little bit more consistent, and the pressure that he's going to have with the Bengals rush, I think he's going to just make more plays in the game than McCarron is going to make for the Bengals. For that reason, that's the only reason why I'm picking the Broncos to win this game. So I'm going to pick the Broncos to win 24-20 in a close one.
Well, I would like to remind y'all that Kansas City blew them out in Denver, and Oakland beat them in Denver also.
Okay.
Things happen in division games.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. But I think it's definitely the game of the week. I just think, unfortunately, it's probably going to be a boring game until the end, but I think it will be a close game. And like I said, I think it's a toss-up, too. I think the difference – I like the Bengals' weapons a little bit better, and I think the Bengals defense is better against the pass than Denver is, but I think Denver's run defense is better than the Bengals is. And to me, that's the difference because I think there's a better chance the Bengals might be able to make a play with A.J. Green, especially if Tyler Eifert's healthy, which we're not sure yet. He's still in concussion protocol. But I want to thank everybody for listening to the Grueling Truth Pick'em Show. Rodney, what do you think?
I loved it. I mean, how many times do I get a chance to talk to a Pro Bowl NFL player? I mean, come on. It was awesome. I appreciate all you guys' time tonight.
Yeah, and Leon's here, too, to talk to.
Exactly.
But, Leon, any final words?
Listen, I can't wait for playoff time. This is the best time of the year. Late December, early January. I mean, I played 11 years in the league, and I was blessed. I played 11 straight years in the league where I made the playoffs, and I mean, this is the best time of the year. I mean, I can only imagine what the guys are going through. I mean, I know when I was playing that the last two games, although they were essential and they were very important, I couldn't wait to get them over with because, I mean, playoff time, I mean, you're always thinking about the opportunity to play in the Super Bowl. So I know these guys in late December, right after Christmas, I mean, once they pass out the gifts and, take their picture with Santa and all that other kind of stuff, it's just an amazing time to be competing in the playoffs. So it's an exciting time. I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of great matchups. I think the AFC is wide open. Everybody thought New England was going to run away with it, but they've got some challenges. I mean, the Broncos. I mean, I think Cincinnati. I think the Steelers. I think the Chiefs and the Jets are going to be perennial powers that can upset any of the first three seeds. I think in the NFC, I mean, the Carolina and your Cardinals and maybe even the Redskins and Green Bay, but you got teams like Seattle that can come in there and upset everything. So I'm very excited about what's going to be happening on both divisions. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Seattle-Pittsburgh Super Bowl. I know you don't want to hear that, Mike, but it's going to be crazy. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe it'll be fixed
like the last one you guys played against them. Worst officiated game in NFL history.
I set that up just
It was, Matt. You're a 49er fan. What was the worst officiated Super Bowl in history?
Yeah, I'm pretty partial to the one my team lost a couple of years ago, but I have to agree. Super Bowl 40 had to have been the worst officiated Super Bowl I've ever watched.
You ever play basketball where you throw the layup and I threw the layup and I knew you were going to dunk. I threw that up, the layup, so you're going to dunk.
I always dunk on that because you know yourself that game was sick. The NFL's a joke on that, man. They're not letting Seattle win back then. The only reason Seattle was allowed to beat Denver is because they beat them so bad they couldn't do anything about it.
But
I know what you're saying, Leon. I think these are two teams that could end up. You just never know. They both could make a run.
Exactly. Hey, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets showed up in the Super Bowl. I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas City showed up. Not well. The Jets, the Steelers, the Kansas City. I just think this: the teams that get the first three, they get the first, second, and third seed, in no means they're not safe, because I think the teams behind the fourth and fifth seeds and sixth seeds have every opportunity to upset the first or second, third. So it's very exciting when you got the top seeds and you got teams that are beneath them that have every opportunity to beat them. So I think this playoff run, outside of any other year I can imagine, any team has the possibility to go in to their house and beat them because it's been proven. So I'm very excited about this year, and I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, real quick, Rodney.
Yes.
Knuppel.
Yes, you are correct. Good work.
There you go. You don't have to remind me of that next time. And also, Rodney, you can come on and pick against the Bengals anytime. I don't have a problem with that. It's just some people, especially with 4 and 10 teams that are battling for the first pick, are just sometimes really disrespectful. And, yeah. I mean, it just irritates me when somebody's disrespectful on air. Now, so you gave your reason, and that was fine. But Matt, he jumps on and calls me a loser all the time, and you heard it tonight.
Really?
I apologize to everybody that heard that out there.
Yeah, he wasn't very nice to you for being the host, that's for sure.
Thank you, Rodney. Rodney Knuppel. Make sure you listen to his new shows that will be coming out on NBA and college basketball.
Yeah, sounds good.
Matt,
looking forward to
final words?
Well, poor Mike. I don't mean to pick on you, Mike, but
I know, but you do all the time.
Yeah, and I don't take anything from you, right? But I like to piggyback on what Leon was saying.
I don't ever make snide comments about your team that's going to draft first in the NFL draft.
Okay, sure.
And then screw up the pick because their owner's a moron. But go ahead.
Okay. I'd like to basically just agree with Leon.
as much as this is kind of a weird year for a lot of teams, this time of year is still very exciting. We got a lot of teams that are, like what Leon was saying, 4, 5, and 6, very competitive. There's a lot of games that are going to be deciding divisions over the next 2 weeks. Really fun time of year, and I'm expecting a number of surprises in the playoffs this year. So, as always, a good time, and like we've said, we don't. How cool is it to talk to a Pro Bowl player every week?
Yeah, but he did play for the Steelers. Ruins it for me as a Bengals.
Well, I mean, I only
we beat you that one time with Jeff Blake, though. Don't forget that.
Well, listen, I like to thank Jeff Blake for beating us in 19.
Well, we're going to have Jeff Blake on the show in the offseason.
We'll have him on the show. I would like to thank him because when they beat us, we went on a 7-0 run and went into the playoffs and actually ended up in the Super Bowl. So anytime we have Jeff Blake on, I want to thank him. I might even send him a bouquet of flowers because.
Well, you know what? Hey, beating the Steelers in 1995 or whatever year it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was 95. It was a Thursday.
Then you guys going to the Super Bowl.
It was a Thursday night game. They beat
Three River Stadium.
They beat us at Three River Stadium, and after we lost that game, we went on a 7-0 run. We went into the playoffs. We dismantled everybody that came in our way. We ended up playing in the Super Bowl against the Cowboys. And if Neil O'Donnell wasn't colorblind, we probably would have won the Super Bowl, and I have a fat ring on my finger right now as I speak to you.
Good. All right. Well, I want to remind everybody to check out our sponsors, Gridiron Mow at www.gridironmow.com. Check out Steelberg Box at www.steelbergbox.com. Also, if you're a Steeler fan, check out Steelers Life Facebook page. If you're a Bengals fan, check out the RealBengalsFans.com website. They are also one of the sponsors of the show today. We just sealed that deal.
Wait, I'm trying to figure out. Okay, I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to figure out all this Steeler gear, all this Steeler sponsors. I've yet to get my Steeler gear. I'm still waiting on it.
Did you send him your address yet?
I sent you my address to send it to him.
No, you didn't. You did not. What did you send it on?
Oh, you are lying. The truth ain't in you. I told you I sent you my address to send him my Steeler stuff. You told me you sent it to him.
Did you text it to me, or did you send it through a Facebook message?
You know what?
You texted it to me?
I'm
looking right now. Are you looking at yours, Leon? Because I don't see an address here.
Listen, if you don't want me to get no Steeler gear, just say that. Don't send me no big.
Hey, Leon. Leon.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at every text right here. Hold on here. I still got no address, Leon. Leon. I'm all the way back to December 8th, and I got no address.
I tell you what,
Leon, right now, when you get off the phone, right now, you text me your address, and I will make sure you get your Steelberg box stuff.
Okay, make sure it's not black and orange, because I don't want no Bengals get here, because I'm going to stay the fire.
Well, it's the only way you'd get an AFC North championship shirt this year.
Well, I tell you what, when I was playing, I got like 4 AFC Central Division championship shirts. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but everybody had leather helmets. It was like 100 years ago.
Oh, here we go. There we go.
But make sure you also check out the Real Bengal Fan Facebook page. Also, check out all of our shows on the Grueling Truth Facebook page. We're also on Spreaker, the Grueling Truth Radio Network, and on Stitcher. We had a boxing show tonight that will be posted later on tonight. We had former super middleweight champion of the world, Charles Brewer. And tomorrow night's Bengals show will feature a Bengals-Broncos preview with myself, my co-host, former Cincinnati Bengal linebacker Joe Kelly, and former Denver Broncos safety Lilo Lang. So make sure you check out all those shows. So for Rodney Knuppel, I got it right for the third time in a row there, didn't I, Rodney?
Yes, sir.
All right. Leon Searcy and Matt Andruscavage. I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.